Hi guys, it's Jackie, real life weird girl. Today I'm gonna do something a little different. We're doing a voiceover here. This will be my first voiceover. I have this little spring fairy statue. It says it's a garden fairy. Now this isn't actually ceramic. I think it's actually a type of plastic. It comes with these little paints, little single paintbrush you can see back there. Now I wanted to do this today for two reasons. First of all, I'm trying to be a little more crafty, trying to get in my crafty hands-on era. When I do art, it's usually more like drawing. I don't paint, I don't do any handmade crafts because they frustrate me. I want total control. I feel like with drawing you have more control. I don't like how crafts turn out most of the time, but I'm trying to be less of a perfectionist and just enjoy things. With this was $4 from Goodwill, so it was the perfect candidate for this. I was like, if I mess this up, it was $4 and I bought it to mess up. So I really wanted to try to give this craft a go, to try to let go of my expectations and just go with the flow, have fun. Here I am painting the dress red, but the colors I chose look nothing like they put on the box. I tried to get a little creative with it. Came up with my own color scheme, color theme. I also wanted to do this because it is springtime, and what's more springtime than fairies? Fairies are very, very whimsical. They're very much associated with spring, I think. Summer's too hot. Spring is the perfect time when nature and pretty things flourish, and fairies really seem to relish that and revel in that, and they represent the happy times of spring, I think, and enjoying the beautiful flowers and nature. I did decide to go with pink for her skin. It's going on a little lighter here, and in the end I kind of wish I put on a little less layers. It did go on a little sheer at first, but in the end I think I actually layered on the paint a little too much, but I maybe should have left it a little bit like this, how it looks in the beginning. I did go with pink and red because that is one of my favorite color combos. I don't care if people say it doesn't look good together. Looks great. Why else would it be theming on Valentine's Day? I'm also a big fan of Ariel's red hair and pink dress. So I'm trying to repeat this color scheme pretty much anywhere I can. But I am hoping that she doesn't look too much like a Martian. Decided to go with green and yellow on the mushrooms. A little less bright and vibrant since I chose such bright and saturated deep colors for the main areas. Oh yeah, also spoiler alert, I did not paint the back of this. Nope. I painted the backs of the mushrooms and that was it. I didn't have enough paint to do that. I may have had more paint if I hadn't layered it on so many times on the front, but I was trying to get it to look solid like it shows on the box. I don't think that was going to be possible anyway. I'm pretty sure that on the box that was digitally colored. These paints are way too sheer to look like the image they put on there. But yes, I'm telling myself that when I put this on a shelf, it will only face forward anyway. There will be no reason to turn it around. It will just be showing the front. So as you can see, the paints did go on pretty sheer. The green paint in its little container was a lot thicker. You can kind of see the globs on there that I'm trying to smooth out. The pots of paint were all very inconsistent. Some were dried like cakes. The pink paint was very moist and wet and easy to use right from the time I opened it. Some of them I had to wet a lot and add water. They were all very different and a little hard to work with in different ways. I did get this from Goodwill, so who knows how long these paints have been in there. And also a part of the box was torn open. The whole thing was still zip tied in, as you could see in the beginning, but there was a corner of the box that was torn open. The paints maybe looked a little tampered with, although I'm not sure. It also came with a glitter glue tube that apparently was paint that you could paint over it, and I would have liked to do that in the end, but there was hardly any of the glitter glue in the tube left. So I'm thinking that somebody maybe used a little bit of the paints, maybe used the glitter glue, but I'm not sure. The tear in the box wasn't huge, but I think it was big enough for somebody's hand to get in there. I'm just rambling now. But I would have liked to add the layer of sparkles over all of this in the end, but it did not look like there was enough at all. It looked kind of dry in the container even. Maybe if I put some water in the tube and tried to spread it over it. I do end up Mod Podging this all in the end. Maybe after the Mod Podge dries, it is currently drying, I will see if I can put some of that glitter on, but if I was going to do that, I probably should have done it before the Mod Podge, so probably not. Anyway, what are you guys doing for spring? What are you doing to make it feel like spring for yourself? I know a lot of places, like where I live, are very, very hot. Spring doesn't really exist here. It just goes from freezing cold to really, really hot. So me doing this little fairy figure is me trying to romanticize spring and do something a little bit in the vein of spring. Because normally, since it doesn't even exist here, I don't even bother. I don't even think of spring as a season. I don't do anything spring related. It doesn't even cross my mind. It's just like winter to summer. I'm like, okay, well, what are we doing this summer? But I have been watching some aesthetic spring videos, and it has me thinking about some things that I could actually do in the spring and for spring. There are a couple activities I have on my mind. One of them is going outside and collecting wild flowers. I think it would be really cute to press them and have a little pressed flower collection. I loved pressing flowers when I was a kid. I used to go outside and pick them, and I would take wax paper and lay them in my collection of encyclopedias. You know, the neurodivergent encyclopedia collection. So that's one thing I'm considering, is doing a little bit of flower collecting, maybe displaying those, maybe getting some cute frames for them. I think that would be super whimsical. I'm still trying to come up with some other things. I thought maybe a little tea party, since I actually have a tea set that I got for Christmas when I was a kid that I haven't really used much. It's currently sitting in storage. It's very pretty. It's covered with floral motif and flowers. I'm thinking about getting it out and having a little tea party. Give that tea set a chance, give it some use. I don't know if I've ever actually used it, which is a shame because it is beautiful. Those are the ideas I have right now. I'm still thinking about some other things I can do because I do want to enjoy spring this year. If you guys have any ideas, or if there's any certain things you guys are doing for spring, please make sure to let me know. I would love some ideas and to actually have some fun this spring. It looks like I am pretty much finishing up here. I think a little later on I do go in and give it another coat later that night. I didn't record this because I didn't think it would be as interesting. And then when I put it outside to dry, it immediately started raining and I had to rush outside like, and grab it and bring it back in. It's not very sunshiny out right now anyway. I'm not sure why I thought putting it outside would help it dry faster. Maybe I thought it had to do with the air outside or something. I'm trying to think of more activities I could do for spring or things I'd like to do for spring. I have a Pinterest board I created. This is the first time I've ever created a spring Pinterest board for sure. I really only ever make fall and summer mood boards or aesthetic boards. I have been wanting to go to a farmer's market because I'd never been to one of those before. I think it'd be really fun to pick up some stuff like some fresh strawberries just to get some fresh fruit. It'd be a little fun thing. I also think it would be fun to buy a wind chime. When I was a kid, we had a whole collection of wind chimes hanging from our porch, but I've never had my own. I've never actually picked one out and hung it up. So I think that would be really nice to commemorate spring. Go pick out a wind chime. And I'd also like to get into plants some more. Get some plants for outside, tend to them, take care of them. But anyway, looks like this is it. It looks like I'm getting towards the end here. Thank you so much for watching if you watched the whole thing, and I hope to see you in another video soon. Bye and have a great day.